Hello, dear friends. Many have heard of the legendary German anti-tank grenade launcher, but there was a gun whose firepower surpassed even that of the Faustpatrone. Yet, by a twist of fate, it remained in the shadows despite all its merits. And so, in 1943, when the Third Reich was crumbling and Germany's enemies were increasingly gaining control of the skies, it became necessary to create an effective weapon against aircraft. One might think that anti-aircraft guns were sufficient to combat aviation, but they failed to meet the challenge due to the growing skill of the Third Reich's enemy pilots, as well as a shortage of the guns themselves. They wanted to create a weapon capable of striking not only enemy aircraft, but also enemy tanks. So German designers set about feverishly creating yet another wonder weapon that would halt the inevitable collapse of the Third Reich. In 1944, Langweiler began developing the Luftfaust B portable anti-aircraft missile system. It consisted of 9 20mm smoothbore barrels arranged in a ring, with 2 firing control handles with a trigger mechanism attached to them, a folding shoulder rest, an electric ignition mechanism, and the simplest aiming devices in the form of an open rear sight, a sight bar, and a front sight. The weapon was loaded from a 9-round magazine by feeding the 9 rockets, secured in its tray, directly into the barrels. The magazine was secured to the breech by a locking mechanism, and fire was conducted without detaching it. Firing was conducted sequentially in 2 salvos. First, the simultaneous launch of 5 rockets, followed by the remaining 4 with a delay of 0.1 seconds. This was achieved by an induction generator integrated into the electric firing mechanism. To connect the rocket's electric igniters to the system's induction generator, the magazine contained electrical contacts. Despite the successes achieved by German ordnance engineers in creating this new model, not everything in the design of the portable anti-aircraft missile system was successful. One of the Luftfaust's main shortcomings was the very high dispersion of the rockets during firing. At ranges up to 200 meters, the dispersion exceeded 40 meters in diameter, and only 10% of the rockets hit their targets, although at shorter ranges, the rocket weapon's effectiveness proved to be quite high. Work on the weapon continued. At the same time, the defeats suffered by the Wehrmacht in the summer and fall battles of 1944 on the eastern and western fronts forced the Wehrmacht's armaments office to sign a contract as early as November of that year for the production of 10,000 Luftfaust B portable anti-aircraft missile systems and 4 million missiles for them for the ground forces. Although the design and development work was still far from complete, and only a few prototypes of the new weapon had been manufactured, to put it simply, they weren't ready for mass production. As a result, only 80 rocket launchers made it to the front, and only in March 1945, when the war was effectively over. And there is no precise data on whether they were actually used in combat against either ground or air targets. This weapon is extremely rare, as only a single example has survived. That's all for today. If you liked the video, please support it with a like and subscribe to the channel. Bye for now. See you next time.